Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories. So subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, From Reservation to Trespass, a Hotel Nightmare. The second story, Tales from the Fazoli's Trenches, a spectacular walkout amidst managerial chaos. The third story, A Tale of Bagels, Coffee, and Customer Meltdowns. The first story is Threaten to Sue Me? Get Trespassed. This happened a while ago, and I'm honestly surprised with how much I still remember. It also happened at my second hotel. I work at 2, double the crazy stories. This tale starts as calm and docile. I came in at 4 p.m., midsummer on a Friday night. We were already maybe 10 rooms away from selling out. My manager, I'll just call him A, had let me know that there was a reservation made for someone who had left their stuff on a one-night stay, and they booked that one night with points. Yay! Sarcasm. He lets me know that he already locked them out, but they'd need to pay a full night to get into the room, or at least get their things back. I was told they had called, but no answer. The night moves on. I'm chatting and BSing in the back office with my coworker, and then they come up and ask to have their keys reset. I recognized that they were who we were looking for, and I let them know that they had actually only booked one night, and I needed them to pay for tonight. She, I'll call her C, did not like that. She immediately started talking about how she booked for 2 nights on points, to which I showed her a printed copy of her original reservation, saying it was only for one night. She asked if she could make a new reservation with points again, and I said no. My manager said they needed to pay for this one, if they wanted their stuff. Her husband Kay started asking how much it was, and he didn't like the price. It was higher than usual, admittedly being around $200 pre-tax, but we were sold out at that point. They both started asking the other people in line what they had paid. Eventually they give up and pay, and they get their keys and go to their room. It's about 10:45 p.m. at this point. 15 minutes later, after my coworker had clocked out and left, leaving me on my own, they came up and said their smoke alarm was chirping, and they wanted to switch rooms. Here's where it starts getting really bad. I let them know that unfortunately, we were sold out for the night, and I wouldn't have any maintenance on the property until Monday. I guess that was the wrong answer because they immediately started yelling at me about how they wouldn't be able to sleep, and this was ridiculous for the price they paid, etc. I would have gone and fixed it myself, but our ceilings are high. I'm short, and the ladders were locked in the maintenance room. Plus, these people have been nothing but nasty to me for the last hour. They then started to ask if there were still reservations, and said to cancel one and give them that room. I said absolutely not. These people booked in advance, and I don't have that authority. They started going off about how they manage hotels, much better than this one. If that's the case, why are you here? And that I should be able to do that. They would not effing leave me alone, and had been harassing me for another 30 minutes before I had enough, and told them that if they didn't go back to their room, I would call the cops for harassment, and have them removed from the property. That royally peeved off Kay, and he said, actually, I'll call them first. Over the phone, he kept repeating, let the record show that I called first. They never showed up for him, so I called non-emergency and waited, calling my manager too to let him know what was going on, that I was going to have them removed. While I was waiting, they went back to their room and came back, saying they would be lawyering up to sue the hotel because something in the room said we couldn't charge over a certain amount, which they were just grasping at straws, but I had enough. Finally, the cops showed up and asked for their room number, and then my manager showed up and met them down there. And the pure joy I got watching them being escorted to their car almost trumped how traumatic the situation felt. They had their little boy with them. He couldn't have been much older than 5 years old. I felt so sorry for him. They ended up being trespassed from this property. I got lucky a few months ago. They had a reservation at my other hotel, but on the day I had my morning shift, I warned my coworkers about them and thankfully didn't hear anything from or about them. It can be really hard to deal with guests who are difficult, especially when they become rude and angry. It sounds like you kept your cool and handled the situation professionally, even though the guest's behavior got worse. Considering what was going on, it's a shame that they chose to react so violently and irrationally to the situation. Making a scene and threatening to sue only adds stress and tension to the situation for everyone. To make sure the property was safe and secure, you did the right thing by talking to your manager and then calling the police. It's never easy to deal with guests who are so rude, but you did a great job by staying firm and assertive while also putting your and your coworkers' safety first. It's also good to hear that you were able to let your coworkers at the other hotel know about these guests, which should stop any more problems. You hopefully won't have to deal with such difficult guests again, but if you do, remember to stay calm, be firm, and put your safety and well-being above all else. The second story is, I worked at Fazoli's, and it was probably the worst job I ever had. The management, they had 5 managers at one store, and still can't get their SH together. I worked there for all of 3 weeks. First day they gave me the wrong schedule, and tried to beam me out over being late, until I showed them the handwritten schedule, at which point they tried to beam me out over not being up to speed. It was my second day, so I didn't say SH. 2 weeks later, and I'm literally hearing my management freak out over effing everything, with the single legitimate complaint that people are stealing milk from the store. T-minus 60 hours before the mass walkout, the main manager, who's a complete C, fires the only manager who gets anything done, and everyone likes because, and I quote, "You don't yell at people enough." Then gives manager everyone hates his hours. This peeves manager everyone hates off and makes him a Super P. Super P keeps showing up late. Bud is the only one with keys to the store, and trying to scream at us for not making people's orders fast enough. He started screaming at me as a line cook, basically, for not also running a register when there was one open, which our training video explicitly said never to do. I pointed this out to him, and he begins yelling at me in front of customers, specifically calling me an effing idiot. At which point I said, "Listen here, you're not going to speak to me that way. Do you understand? If you ever even come close to speaking to me that way again, we're gonna have serious problems." One of the customers straight up says, "Yeah, don't let him talk to you that way. As a manager, you should be ashamed." He didn't fire me in his words because he's such a nice person. I think the reality is that he was afraid I was going to punch him directly in the crotch, because after that he didn't say a word to me for the rest of the shift, or until the day everyone walked out. The night manager everyone hates leaves 3 hours early. We all made ourselves full dinners and take-homes and went even further by making full bake-yourself lasagnas. The entire store discussed walking out. 2 days later I'm working and manager everyone hates comes in. He screams at the girl on drive-thru for no reason and kept calling her a stupid bee while she was trying to talk to customers. I wound up going back to him and told him, "If you don't stop speaking to her that way, I'll break your effing jaw. I'm sick of hearing your SH. Being my manager means jack SH to me, it just means you're an effing 40-year-old failure." He turned around and walked away. When I went on break, I went to sit in my car. He came back up to the girl on register and told her he was firing her for your boyfriend's behavior, talking about me. She comes out to my car and tells me. I went back in the store to tell him I was quitting, and this would be my 2 weeks' notice. I come in and he's screaming at the dishwasher who walks out. So now I'm supposed to be doing dishwashing duty and running the drive-thru. I told him, "The fact that you're causing issues for the store does not mean I'm pulling extra duties. You want it done, do it yourself. I have another job lined up in 2 weeks, so I couldn't care less if you fired me." An hour later, the sauce cook, second line cook, and the person running the register in store have been getting screamed at non-stop, while Dip SH just stands around. Sauce cook walks out. He then calls all the managers in. All 4 of those Fs come in and proceeded to do nothing but scream at us and tell us, "You stupid teenagers aren't working fast enough or hard enough." Note that 4 people are required to run the store, or they're supposed to close. 4 managers came in, putting us at full staff. Management decides they're all going into the office to F off, so that more people are there, and you kids won't have an excuse. I proceed to lock the front door and put up a "We're closed" sign. Tell the remaining 3 people if management doesn't want to help us, let's feed these people and leave. So we did. I sent a notepad down and told people to write down what they wanted. We made it all in like 15 minutes, and then sent it out to them. Line of like 20 people in store, and walked out. Management came out to an empty store. Had to complain to both corporate and the Department of Labor to get my last check. Oh, the epic story of the Fazoli's, where chaos was king. There were a lot of problems at work, from messed up schedules to crazy managers. There were too many managers, and the boss fired the only good one for not yelling loud enough. Things were doomed to go badly. The fight between the worker and the jerk boss, complete with threats and help for customers, looked like it came straight from a sitcom. And who could forget the big ending, when the staff ordered everyone to leave, leaving management to stew in their own sauce. This story was about how to beat tyrannical leadership, and it came with spaghetti. It was so funny that even complaining to corporate and the Department of Labor didn't stop it. It was ultimately a lesson in advocating for oneself, even in the face of an irate dishwasher or an outburst from the sauce cook. So here's to the brave people who made it through the Fazoli's mess. May your next job be free of crazy managers and dishwashers at work. Cheers! The third story is Cream Cheese Karen. I was working at a coffee shop cafe and it was awful. The boss was a monster. But even worse was that to save money, there was only one person on each shift. Usually that was fine, but on weekends it could be a nightmare. So one day I was helping a new girl during our shift crossover. Since I'd try to be nice, I'd clock out but to stay to help to give her assistance and training and whatever she needed. In the mix of customers walking in and phone orders, we were also getting slammed with online delivery orders. This was hard to manage anyway, because the deliveries had a 20-minute expectation, and being a sandwich shop with coffee, a drink and sandwich could take 10 minutes to make. Super slow toaster and everything done by hand. But in between there would be walk-in and phone orders. It required fast, precise movement. Not easy on a new person. Well, one thing that killed me there was the upcharge for cream cheese. All the sandwiches were bagel sandwiches, but there was also an option for ordering just a bagel, no sandwich. The owner was nuts about the quarter charge for cream cheese. If she was gone, I'd let it go for regulars. As we were scrambling, in comes an order for 4 detailed drinks and some bagels. I prepped the order, everything was fine, and sent it on its way. I even wrote messages on the to-go bags. Thank you, enjoy your meal. As I was about to walk out, I got a call from an irate woman screaming about her lack of cream cheese. How could she be expected to eat her bagels with no cream cheese? I calmly apologized and explained that I didn't see cream cheese on her order, but I was so sorry. She continued yelling at me about not being able to eat her food. She told me that the website said cream cheese included, and I politely explained that I do not see the website. I only see the order as it comes in, which did not list cream cheese. It was an honest mistake. After going back and forth between myself apologizing and herself screaming, I finally said, "Ma'am, what would you like me to do here? How can I fix this? I'm leaving my shift shortly, and I'd be happy to come to your home and drop off cream cheese if you'd like." Nope, that was not good enough. It should have been in the bag. She didn't want any cream cheese now, as I had ruined her meal and her whole day. I offered to refund the bagel and again apologized. She told me she'd be watching her account for the rest of the day, waiting for the refund to process. I finally got her off the phone, processed the refund, and called the owner to let her know why there was a refund. She was very irate even if a customer accidentally ordered wrong, and she hated refunds. So once on the phone, I explained it all, and she started yelling at me that any online order automatically gets cream cheese. I should have known, and now she will have to retrain everyone for online ordering because I didn't give one woman cream cheese one time. I missed the job because of my regulars. They offered to crowdfund my own coffee shop when I told them I was leaving. Best customers ever. But I'm so happy to be free of the constant abuse. I could probably write a book about the terrible things that owner did, including trying to install cameras to prove I was stealing unused cups, because the new girl decided to stock them more often, causing stock to go down, and the owner didn't realize why the stock was going down. Having to deal with difficult customers and unreasonable bosses can be very difficult. Sounds like you were professional and patient, even though the customer made unreasonable demands, and the owner didn't seem to understand. The customer getting so angry over a simple mistake is a shame, especially since you were ready to fix the problem and offer solutions. There are customers who will never be happy, no matter what you do. Even though it was hard, it sounds like you made the right choice to leave that job. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.